car that was designed for the racetrack. It's got a true racing pedigree and heritage. Corey, you are a GT350 owner. Tell us why an experience like this here at the GT350 Track Attack is so important for the overall ownership experience for our customers.
Well, like you mentioned, Henry, the GT350 is a very special car. It's got performance capabilities well above a regular Mustang, and where better to put this vehicle, which is really track-oriented, track-developed through its paces, than on a track. And really to learn about the capabilities of the vehicle and your capabilities as a driver as we take them to the next level.
Absolutely. And tell us a little bit more about the car and what performance characteristics that these owners should really be paying attention to while they're out here.
Absolutely. So the GT350 is really all about balance. Really the balance of power, braking, suspension, how those work together, and you're going to be taught about that throughout the day as well as be able to experience it. And so we'll do some exercises with regard to heel and toe. You'll learn that. And then power. What can we say? 526 horsepower, as we all know, but importantly, how free revving this engine is. And you have the ability, and in fact, we encourage you to don't shift in this vehicle. Go ahead and let it rev to those higher RPM ranges. Braking, great brakes on this car, and you're able to go deeper into the corners than you ever thought possible. And then suspension with the MagneRide and how well that performs on the road, as well as on the track, of course. Just a great overall balanced package.
Fantastic. This is an awesome car. You guys are at an amazing facility with really professional instructors. Go out there, have a great time, be safe. You'll learn a ton about this car and what it can do. Thank you so much for being a part of the Ford family. Have a great experience.
All right, there you go. Get you started with that. Now you get to read some of those sheets. Some of those really professional instructors, but they weren't available, so.
They couldn't be here today.
But instead, I got you Donnie.
Good morning, Donnie Edwards, Napa, California, when I'm not here at the Ford Performance Racing School, my 9th season here. I've been racing since three-wheelers were legal, so it dates me a little bit. All types of different racing, sports car racing, a lot of endurance racing, some very cool historic vintage car racing, which got me to Le Mans. 30 years of teaching and racing consecutively. So we'll ask questions and we'll get you down the road.
Good morning, I'm Todd Hanson. I'm from Gainesville, Georgia. This is my 3rd year at the Ford Performance Racing School. 8th year overall instructing. I've been racing for 16 years. Formula cars, open wheel, production built sports cars, Continental Tire Challenge, and GT race cars at the 24 Hours of Daytona. I'm glad everybody could be here today. Thank you.
Hey, I'm Rita Croto from Steamboat Springs, Colorado. That's home to ice and winter driving school. Some of the fun things that I've been able to do, I started out in '93, but Neon Challenge, a lot of 24-hour endurance races, the Pace Car Team, PT Car Series, some stuff driving Need for Speed with the Mustang. I got an opportunity to drive that. It was pretty cool. And so going up Pikes Peak. I didn't drive it. I was a co-driver and I was coaching the guy, and I'm like, that was pretty terrifying. But it was pretty good.
Good morning, Justin Bloxham. I'm from the Salt Lake City area. I'm glad that I'm not coaching you while we're going up Pikes Peak. That's really nice. My performance driving stuff started just like you guys in this very classroom, and my first race was on the same track that you're going to be driving today. So I'm really excited about it. Super stoked to have you guys here, teach you more about the car, about yourselves as a driver, and like Donnie said, ask us questions. We'll have a really good day today.
All right, they're gonna go get the rest of the courses ready. So real quick, my name is Sean Humphreys. I am from Camarillo, California. I've also been racing for quite a while, probably 15 plus years. This is my 6th year here at the school. I raced the Mustangs that you see in the Performance Center. I've done a lot of 24-hour and 12-hour endurance races. I also race off-road. I run a 1600 car in Baja, where I was championship runner-up. We will not be using any of my off-road skills today, correct? We used some yesterday, but none today since we had a Raptor class yesterday. And I heard someone talking about drag racing. Yes, I do drag race as well. I drive an alcohol funny car, an 8-fuel dragster, and set the 15th quickest fuel-altered run in history, which is a 563 at 255 miles an hour. So I heard it was awesome, so next time I'll keep my eyes open. It was only 5 seconds, but wow. But and all of us, we have these backgrounds. We can deal with all kinds of driving skills. We teach tactical, so I do that with the Navy SEALs, FBI Ops, you name it. I get to teach those classes. That's close to one of my favorite, or actually is my favorite class, because we actually shoot from the car. So until we do that here, that will still be up there. But we get to do a lot today. We're going to do a lot of things with you, show you how capable your cars are. A lot of times you're going to look at it and go, man, I cannot believe this car was this capable. Because it is a specialty vehicle is why we have this class. And hopefully at the end of the day, you'll be more excited about it than the day you bought it, because you're going to find out how well it turns, how well it stops, and how all the modes work. A lot of people are reluctant to use them, much like we have in our Raptor classes. They don't know what all those modes do. At the end of the day, you will have the confidence to go to them and realize what the car will do and what the capabilities are. So, like everybody has said, ask us questions. Our day is your day. Ford made sure that you had all of us and all the professional drivers and instructors. We are yours for the afternoon. So please utilize that. There's your overview of the day. We are obviously in the classroom. In the classroom here, then we are going to leave here. We're going to go down. We're going to put you in your cars. Your car will be sitting there with your name on it. So it'll be really easy to find, except for Shannon. He's going to try me out again. But we will be getting in the cars. We will do an orientation lap. It's going to be very slow, but it's one of those things that we are going to show you the track that you're going to be on. We find that if you do that, it kind of sets it in your mind and gives your brain a chance to process it. So we'll do our orientation lap. Then we're going to go to our breakouts. One breakout will be heel-toe. Who here has heel-toed before? Who here's good at it? Yeah, right? It's a hard one. And trust me, it is one of the hardest exercises we're going to do, and it's hard to catch and do that one in a 30-minute time frame. So we are going to do as much as we can to front load and preload you and get you really good at it, and then you can work on that when you leave. But do not get frustrated. It is one of those things that's really hard to grasp in a short period of time. And then we will be going from heel toe. We'll split that hour with the skid car. Slowest car on the property, most fun to drive. It is a car with an outrigger. It picks the car up. It barely touches the ground. It's like driving on glare ice. It's high speed, but we do it at a slow speed. So in order to make the car do the things that it's doing, you'd have to travel like 70, 80 miles an hour and induce these situations. And there's not an instructor here that would get in that car. So. And we will also be doing vehicle dynamics. We have a course set up with a slalom in an increasing and decreasing radius corner, so that as you go through the modes and you go from normal to sport to track, you will feel how the car acts and how it reacts to that. So it's really cool with the magnetic ride system that's in the car. It's really, really awesome. After that, my favorite, we'll go to lunch. Then we'll have our classroom in here. So we'll be coming back here at lunch. We'll have our classroom. And then we will go back out. You'll jump in the vans. We'll take you out and we'll show you the track again with one of us driving the van and telling you where to be, what to look for, where to have your eyes, things like that. After that van session, we'll bring you into the classroom. Half of you, the other half will go out and we'll do lead follows. So as you're doing your lead follow, and then then we'll switch. The second group will do it, and then we'll go in and we'll ride with you. And then at the end, you are on the honor system. We send you out on your own and see how you do. Then if everybody makes it through that, we'll do a demo lap with you where we get a shot back at you. So if you scared us while we're doing our other part, when that person rolls in and points at the person buckling and says, put them here, yeah, you know what you did. And then after that, after everybody, we clean you up after that, we'll come back to graduation. So it's pretty cool. You get a really awesome trophy, and pretty much, if it's not a 350 owner, they don't actually recognize what it is, but you guys will, I'm sure, right out the gate. All right, real quick, stay hydrated today. This racetrack is at 4,500 feet. 4,500 feet is really you're at a mile. Flatlanders like myself, this is a lot. We found out that at 4,500 feet, the track doctor told me you will exhale a pint of water a day just talking. So that's how dry it is here. And then the bad part is as you don't drink water during the day when it's cool like this because you don't feel like you're getting hot. Well, you are. You're still sweating. So as that's happening, you'll start getting that thumping headache in the back of your head, and that's in line, which is the restroom breaks. We have restrooms at all of the stops today, so you're going to be good to go. We already have that built in, so drink lots of water. I know there's times you're going to think, oh, maybe I'm not thirsty, but do it anyway. This is forced hydration day. We don't want you to get that headache because that's when you get sick and nauseous and all that. So, any personal items that you do not want to take with you, be dragging from van to van in classrooms and back and forth, you can leave in here. We are the only ones using this classroom today, so just leave it in here at your desk. It'll be just fine. And probably for the first half in the morning, guests, you can leave your helmets in here. You will not need them till after lunchtime, so guests, just leave your helmets in here. So leave your personal items that you don't want to take. It gets a little cumbersome. Some people want to bring backpacks with them, but you're getting in and out of cars and doing all that, so just keep that in mind throughout the day. Cell phones and action cameras. Cell phones, these are most people's cameras. I'm going to tell you right now, and we will not stop the day for you to look for your phone if you put it in these fire suits. These fire suits, those pockets are not real. Those are like the pockets on my daughter's pants that I watched my phone I paid $900 for hanging half out. They're fake. Do not put anything in the pockets of these fire suits that you want to keep. Rental car keys, phones, they fall out. The way they're cut, they're made for us to stand around with our hands in our pockets and look cool. That's about it. All they're made for is your hands. So we are not going to put what in our pockets? Or anything you want to keep, right? Okay? Because it will happen. Someone tests me every time. I can't find I told you. I get to use my dad voice. So this is also during lead follow, anything like that. There is no Snapchat, Facebook Live. Look, dude, I'm wheeling this Mustang. Don't do it. Why do I have to say it? Because someone did it. And when you're in a lead follow, I'm looking at a mirror and looking at you 20 feet behind me, and I can see it happening. And then they come in, and I'm like, I have to bring them down pit road. Yeah, my guy's on his phone back there streaming live. So don't be that person. Action cameras. A lot of people bring their GoPros, action cameras. That's fine. It is suction cups only. Do not put sticky mounts on our helmets, our cars, anything like that. It is suction cups only. So if you stick it on the inside of the car on a window, or if you have a roll bar mount that does not require an engineering degree to mount and you can put it in there quickly, that's fine as well. But you can bring them, just remember they go inside. We will have a professional photographer with us all day. Jeremy's in the back of the class now. You will not see him, but he will be everywhere. So if you're an open mouth driver, you will have an awesome picture of yourself at the end of the day. I know, right? Now you're going to think about it. Am I a mouth breather? I don't know. Well, Jeremy will have evidence of that by the end of the day. You will get a flash drive that will have 600 plus pictures on it. So you will be an internet sensation of your own when you get home. Don't worry about stuff, like, man, I wish I would have got that. He will take care of that as well. A lot of you got your little race keepers. Those things, I'm going to tell you, this is just like the pockets. When you plug it in, don't touch the button. The thing has a satellite link. When the car starts to move, it turns itself on. If you're in there pushing buttons, turn it off and on and off, you're not doing yourself any favors. It's very smart. It knows. It links up, turns itself on and off. You may use it in the morning if you want to record your exercises. A lot don't choose to. They wait for the afternoon. Entirely up to you. If you want to do it in the morning, get in the car, plug it in over there. It's right below the button. Plug it into that. Just leave it in there, and it will start and stop itself all day. So feel free to do that. Another big thing is the challenge by choice. We realize these are amazing cars. They have extremely high capabilities. Not everybody's skill set is as high as the car. We get that. We can work with skill sets from minimum to maximum. Okay, so we will work with you. It's a challenge by choice all day. If you get to a point where this is as fast as I feel, like I'm safe, whatever, if we cannot coach you past that, and we will try to work with you and say, look, trust the car, do this, do that, and that, if If you go above that, you find yourself being anxious, you're not having fun, and that is not what this is about. So feel free to get to that point, but there's a lot of times we're going to tell you, now trust in it, we'll keep bringing you up. Remember, it's easy, we can work with all kinds of skill sets, but it's usually the egos that are the hardest because they're way higher than the skill set. Yeah, that's the biggest challenge. Guest options. Guests, this is just as much your day as it is theirs. We are going to have you with us all day. You will be going out with us in the vans. You will be there for the van sessions. You'll get to watch them do all of their exercises. You will be going out to the breakouts and watching them. You will hear the instruction that we're giving them so you can tell them later how they were doing it wrong. We will, you get to be part of all of that. So, you know, you are just as much engaged. We aren't going to sweep you off into a corner and just move on. You are a big, big part of this. You get to ride with us in the demo rides at the end of the day. You will get to be out there for all of it. So this is going to be really a cool deal for you. So you get a lot of that interaction as well. Health concerns. If anybody has an ongoing health condition, anything that you've, you know, any allergies, something like that, you don't have to blurt them out now. But we do have medical staff on site. So at some point you might want to let myself or one of the other ones know, and that way we can let them know, so in case there is something, we can be ready just in case. And again, ask a lot of questions. If we're doing something in one of the breakouts or whatever, and you don't actually understand why we're doing or what the purpose is, ask us. This is your day. We are here for you to go throughout the day and coach you up and give you a skill set to take home. So we're going to put tools in the toolbox that you can use. If you track day your car, or if you just like drive it spiritedly, you will be prepared for about anything. Once we do get in the car, it is sport mode only. We do not use track mode. Anybody that's tried track mode knows that as soon as you push it, all of the engineers jump out of the glove box and they run. They all get out of the car and they leave you to yourself, which is normally not the best thing. Because we don't know that we don't know. The car is very unforgiving because it is so capable that its breakaway point is higher than most. So when the car does let go or it goes into a mode or something happens, it's usually really big and it happens at a high speed or whatever. So keep this in mind. No track mode other than when we're doing the dynamics class. And when you are out on track, if for some reason it's in that mode and you wad the thing up, the car takes a snapshot, so we do know. So the car's going to rat you out anyway. So don't test us or the car, trust me. That car gets very evil really fast when you exceed all of that. Let's see, seating position. This is a big thing. When we walk up to the car, and I walk up and I cannot see you because you are total gangster mode, all the way back on the wheel. This is not a performance driving technique. I've seen a lot of them. That is not one that's going to catch on. All right, so when you get to the car, get yourself in there, sit it up, get yourself where you can get to the wheel. Nice and, controlled, not one hand, okay? When you are sitting in the car with your shoulders all the way back in the seat, when you put your hand out, it should just go over the steering wheel. So the reason being, when your hand comes back, you've got a 90-degree bend in your arms. You're holding it like this, all right? And there's 2 bumps on the steering wheel. You know what those are for? Your thumbs. Your thumbs don't go in the wheel. They sit on the wheel. It's like holding a golf club. You're holding it in your hand, so it's smooth, okay? This will also help you to relax your grip. On something you'll notice that when you go and you hold the steering wheel with your hand is all relaxed. As soon as your thumb goes in, all of this pulls tight. Anybody rides mountain bikes, motorcycles, as soon as you do that, you get on there and you get arm pump. That's when you start making mistakes and you get tense, all right? It's nice and soft. You'll notice when we drive the car, we are holding the wheel, our hands are that smooth, soft grip. Even driving on the street will keep you from becoming fatigued. So when you get in there, you get your seat set, which is what you'll do first. You're gonna sit down, get in, And you're gonna have seats, they aren't gonna be full containment like this. They're gonna be the Recaros. That's what all of our cars have. You get it, boom, you're good. So you got your hands in there, all right, I feel good, steering's good. After the seat's set, then you go for your belts. They are not the stock belts. They are harnesses like this. So in order to lengthen this, because it's too short, right? I grab it by the buckle, I point it down at the ground. This one's already all the way out, so I'll do it so say you get it, this is too short. Point it at the ground, they release themselves. Do not pull this over and go to buckle this and pull this up to your chin so you can put the shoulder strap in. Leave them loose. Leave it, don't pull it tight as soon as you put the lap belt on. Leave it away from your body, because that way, when you grab your shoulders, you can see the buckle to put them in. You get in there, you pull this tight, now you're trying to pin this out, you got that fire suit on, it's really hard. Leave it loose, click this in. It doesn't take a lot of effort. These just clip right in. Really easy. But what generally happens is they get in there, get all excited, and they grab these first, and they go, and these go. Now you look like Iron Man, which is cool, but it's not really good. If something were to happen, this is not where you want the load of the impact to be. So, to let these out, grab the buckle, grab this, and pull them away from each other. So this one's, and they release. Pull them away, and they release. So you pull this just like a belt, right around your waist, pull it tight, nice and snug so you're not moving around in the seat. Pull that. You don't have to get that super tight, but get it good and snug. So when you're in there, you're not, when you go to the brakes hard, especially during the braking exercise, your body's not in the belts, because that's going to happen. So when we do the braking, I'm going to have you go into the brakes super hard on the racetrack. You're going to find that. So you get in there, you're nice, snug, belt. Now to release it, grab this, twist it. Simple as that. One twist. And then if you want, point them down when you get out of the car so they're easier to put back on when you get in. Same thing with these. Pull them away from each other. Done. Flip them over the seat. You're set. Now when you have your legs though set in there, you do not want them stretched completely out, trying to reach the pedals with your toes. You still want a bend in your legs so when you push the clutch in, you still have a bend. Same thing with the brake. You want to have some in there because we're going to have you go to the brakes incredibly hard. We're going to have you getting into the ABS. I mean, as hard as you can. You are not going to hurt the car, and the brake pedals are not made of glass. All right? There, nice and little bend. You have most control that way. That racing harness is super easy. It's not overly complicated, so leave it loose, clip them all in, pull them tight. Let's see. When we are shifting, this is just like your cars. Take your time, get the shift done, get the clutch out. Do not slide the clutch. The clutches, as you probably found in your cars, do not like that. That double disc clutch. It's get it moving, get off of it. Don't slide it, because it will smoke the clutch that fast. So get off of the clutch, get the car moving. Use the clutch when you're shifting and let off the gas. If you're just doing every shift and you're barking the tires, you're not doing it right. Get off the, even when we shift, it's gas, clutch, back to it. It's not barking. It's smooth. So you're not shocking the drivetrain in them. The vehicle monitoring systems, you guys are all going to get vehicle monitoring system lights for the tires. We know. So just say okay. And you might get the belt one too, because obviously we aren't using the stock belts. But the tire monitors, when we go down there and start them up, I don't want to see 17 hands come out the window. I got a tire light. We know. Those wheels don't even go on any of those cars, and most of them don't even have the sensors in them anymore because we change them constantly. So they get all mixed up in the warehouse, whatever. So we know, we already set all the tire pressures in the morning. They're good to go. So don't worry about that. But if you get an overheat or oil or something like that, braking system, yes, let us know. That is something we need to address. Something that we do, we talk about all day, and if you do not hear us talking about it, you're not paying attention is going to be your vision. Your eyes are the closest thing to your brain, and they bring in the input to give you a plan to set up for what you're doing. Now you think about it, when you're out there, your hands will follow your eyes. If you're just driving at the end of the hood and you look and you drive cone to cone and you move, you go, it's a reaction, the car's going to be jerky. If you get your eyes up looking as far ahead as you can, it's going to be really smooth, and you will find that the car reacts very well to you when you do that. Now, let's see. Always look where you want to go. Your eyes will follow. Use your peripheral. We are going to have turn-in cones out there marking where we want you to turn into the corners. There'll be apex cones. We do not use track-out cones because we've found that people will look at a track-out cone and drive right off the side of the track. So we do not put them there. But when we do have the turn-in cone, use your peripheral to look at it. If you're already coming and you're coming up this part of the track, you can see that coming. You can see it way up there. You don't need to stare at it anymore. Use your peripheral. As you get to it and it starts to go by you, be looking for the next one. We're going to be out on our west track today, which is the fastest short version of the track we have. We can link it all together, but today we're going to be on that one. Very fast track. You want to have your eyes far ahead as you can to have a plan. If you're looking at the end of the hood, you're just reacting to it and it will upset the car. So be looking far ahead. And there's going to be corners that the apexes are going to be way around. So that's something we have to keep in mind as well. So use that peripheral so you can be looking as far ahead as you can. The traction theory. This is your contact patch of your car. All four corners. Barely bigger than the sheet of paper, if you look at that booklet in front of you, is all that's touching the ground at any time. So you are managing that. So you're a manager today, managing that, the contact patch, and how the car reacts to that. So when you're looking at it, when you get onto the brakes hard, the fronts grow, the rears decrease because the car transfers forward. Is your lid on there tight or straight? Sure? All right. Steal that from you. Okay. Here's your car. Comes into a corner. Your car's not as wrinkly as this, I hope. But you come into the brakes. Boom. The car transfers the weight forward. That weight is pushing down on the front. At that moment, when you go to the brakes and that car transfers forward, it's like a cat on the carpet when it digs in with its claws. That is the most effective braking you will have ever. That is when it is the best because you have the speed of the car, the transfer of the weight, the car goes forward, boom. Now what happens in the rear though? It kind of unloads, so the mass of the car is not in the rear. So that's not a good time to put a big handful of steering wheel in there and turn the car. We always brake in a straight line. So boom, braking, nose of the car down. When you get to the corner, you release the brakes slowly, not fast, because the car doesn't want to spring up. The car will sit up to what we call a neutral position. As you're turning through the corner, you can do what we call a maintenance throttle. Just put your toe on there so you're not coasting through the corner. You're maintaining that speed. So you put your toe in, you hear the RPMs match the speed of the car, you can get through there. Now all of a sudden if you go to the gas, because you got to get going, you just transferred it away, you just took the weight transfer off of the end you're asking to do all the works. And if you look surprised because it didn't turn when I was coming out of the corner with all that steering wheel in, this is why. Weight, and you have to be smooth. If the steering wheel is turned, the amount of steering also dictates the amount of throttle. Thanks. You can only have so much of each. It's 100%. So if you got 70% steering, you can only have 30% throttle. If you got more, you're overdrawn at the traction bank and the car's going to tell you, nope, I'm not turning. It's like, well, the car wouldn't turn. No, you made the car not turn, period. It's not the car's fault. It's all the input. In order to get an action, you have to have a reaction, you have to have that positive action, the right one at the time. So, managing the car's contact patches, smooth weight transfer, braking, releasing it, going back to it. And everybody knows what an understeer is? It's when it's underachieving the corner. It's when you're watching the wreck happen. Yeah, because you're turning the wheel. The number one thing that happens when they do that is they keep adding steering. Turn, 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 turn. It's not turning. Well, if a little's not working, more will. No. That is not how you recover from an understeer. You have to give the steering wheel back up, get the tires rolling again, and then the car will start to make the corner. It doesn't matter if it's a cliff, the edge of the racetrack, whatever. You have to give the steering wheel back up, straightening it till it starts to turn again, because that is when the tire is effective. If you keep adding it, you are already past the slip angle of the tire. The number one cause of understeer, you went too fast. Period. In any situation, you're in the snow, you turn and it doesn't turn, you went too fast. Gravel, pavement, anywhere. You went too fast. You should have slowed it down back there in a straight line while you had the chance. Now I'm turning, it's not turning. So if you give the steering wheel up, get it rolling, and it won't be straight, it'll be somewhere in there, and it'll start to make the corner. So if you keep adding it, now you just turn this into part of the braking system, which it was never designed to be. So the tires scrub it, and you hear it doing that. And you'll look at the tires on the front of our cars, and the outer edges are gone, because the last group used it as part of the braking system. What is eventually going to happen? It's like a rudder in the water. It's going to slow to the point where it what? Snaps. That car's going to take off. Well, you better have Jackie Chan hands if you're going to get your hands back there to catch that. And most people don't. That happens so fast. That is what we call a snap oversteer, because you finally slowed the car enough by dragging the tires that it caught, boom, took off. And remember the water bottle. All that mass was on the front of the car. Boom! It's like a whip at that point. It throws it around, and the back comes around, and it is extremely hard to catch. And it was all induced by the driver. Not the car's fault at any point. The number one thing, even though you think you're riding in that car by yourself, is physics. Undisputed champion of the world as far as co-drivers goes. It's always right, and no driver can outrun it. You can't outdrive physics. You can manipulate it, but you can't outrun it. So, with that happening, get them back rolling. Oversteer, it's everybody's favorite, right? That's a Saturday night in a parking lot. Woo! That's what these cars were built for. You can do a big donut, Dukes of Hazzard style, yell yeehaw out the window. But if you're in the car and you're doing it, and you had it on its nose, turning in, and you put a bunch of steering in it, and the tail starts to come around, believe it or not, if you put your toe on the gas and bring the RPMs up just a little bit, the car will transfer back, it will sit down on the rear tire, and it will gather itself up. So you gotta be looking where you're going, do that, and it will gather it up. If you just put it on the mat, just yell yeehaw. It's on, yeah. So be smart, be smooth. You know, oh, my boss is here today, so I'll use this. My boss hates this, but the reason we give cars girls' names, the least you upset it, the better it will treat you. Straight up, right, lady? Yeah, yes? See? So if you get in an argument with that car in the middle of the corner because you asked it to do a lot of things at once, as in life, that will never end in your favor. All right? Tell it to, ask it to do one thing. I'm asking it to brake. Now I'm asking it to turn. I'm asking it, and if you start adding a lot of things at one time, abruptly, the car does not react well to that. And it's just, you can take that away with you, that's free. That is one of those things. Smooth inputs gets a smooth reaction. So you practice that throughout the day. Oh. Cornering. We do not have any 90-degree corners on that track, as you see, but there are some very sharp ones. And of course, the guy that designed the track put the sharpest corner at the end of the fastest straightaway. That is faster than the front. All right? Apex. This is one of those things. In your mind, you're thinking, I'm coming in there, I'm moving, I'm hauling in here, and all of a sudden I get down here, oh, there's a corner coming. I got to get there. Yeah, you went past that apex. You were moving. But what happened here? Yeah, that's the OS line. Right. You're like, now, what did you have to do? You had to climb all over the brakes right there when you should have already gotten your braking done back here. And you had to add all that steering. Remember, you can't have a lot of steering and a lot of anything else. So you get in there and you're like, uh-oh, I'm getting through there way too fast. So all you're trying to do right there is stay on the racetrack. We have so that's an early apex that usually ends up in a dust cloud. First guy to turn in is the first person to run out of track. We have what we call a geometrically correct, which means you turned in and you kept the same radius turn the entire time, which means you can't add any more steering because it will understeer. You can't add any throttle because it will understeer. So this is it. You're locked in. You're traveling the same speed. So we came in here and got it down to 50. You're at 50, 50, 50, 50 at the apex, 40, 30, 20, 25 miles an hour right here, 20, and then you get it turned, and now it's a drag race off the corner. You have no momentum. You just killed it all. This one, you came in at 50, 40, 45, 30, 30, 30, or 35, 35, 35, 35. That's all you got. And you can't turn in if someone spins in front of you or you see something. You can't turn in because it'll understeer. So your only thing is you could straighten the wheel and maybe run off. After that, we have what's called a late apex. Come down, brake, turn. After I got my apex turned, what am I doing here? Because I'm straightening the wheel. Anytime you're at your apex, on any apex on this racetrack, from the apex out, you can start to straighten the wheel, start to squeeze the throttle. Remember, do it like the string theory. There's a string from your hand to your foot. When you turn in, your foot comes off the throttle. As you start to straighten the wheel, you can start adding the throttle just like the wheel. Don't get ahead of the steering wheel. Just stay with it. Turn, straighten it, and as you're doing that. So this one I came in at 50, I got it down to 40, 45, 40, maybe 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. I'm back to the gas, exiting the corner. This one's waiting, this one's really waiting. Yeah. So slow in, fast out will win every time. It's the safest and the smoothest. So when you're doing that, that exit speed by the end of that straightaway starts adding up, and you'll pass somebody down there 8, 10 miles an hour faster than them. You ever pass someone just going 5 miles an hour faster than them on the freeway or on the road? It's pretty substantial. At the end of that straightaway, I'm just opening it up. You pass so many people that way because they're grabbing gears and having a drag race off the corner. This will keep your rolling speed up, and it's amazing how well this car responds to that. So pick your exit point, get turned in, you'll turn in at your cone. Actually, I should move that up here. So we'll pretend that wasn't there. And where our cones are, we actually have it set up to be your turn-in point. So that's when you want to be turned. So be patient, wait for that. And remember, no matter how far around the corner the cone is for the apex, the further around it is, the more patient you have to be. Remember, you can't go to the gas till you get to that apex, so you're waiting at that point. Let's see, there's all your apexes there. Braking, that's the one I was talking about. That's the one that you got that's going to be the biggest thing today. We will give you braking points all around the racetrack. When you're braking on the street, say that I get there and I see a stoplight or stop sign and you start braking. And as you get closer, you press harder on the pedal, harder, until you stop. Flip that over. You're coming in. There's braking markers. There's like the 3, a 2, and a 1. You know, and you got these boards sitting out there. We may tell you, okay, drive it into the 2. Or drive it into the 2.5. You're going to come in there and you're going to go to the brakes, wham, hard. And then you're going to slowly start bleeding off, bleeding off, bleeding off till you're off the brake. Remember, we're letting the car sit up. So braking, the most efficient. The car's moving. You got all the momentum, so that it's not going to try and lock the wheels. Boom. Braking, braking, slowly releasing it so the car sits up neutral. Then you add that steering. So then here, you're off of it, turn it in. But that pedal pressure at the beginning is a hard hit. Again, these pedals are not made out of glass. Hit them. These brakes on these cars are amazing, so we're going to be using that. But it's very efficient, very deliberate hit of the braking on the way in. And we, like I said, we will give you reference points all around the track on where to be getting into the brakes the hardest. Here's a tough one. 3 pedals, 2 feet. Black magic, right? When you're sitting in the car, you're looking at it, you got all this going on. You're You're coming in, you go to the brakes, coming in there. Well, you're slowing the car past where the speed would be for that next gear. So you're braking. So now you need to get that car downshifted so that when you go to the gas, when you're coming off, you're in that next lower gear, which will accelerate you out. But you can't just take and shove it in gear and let the clutch out, because what happens?
Engine braking.
Yeah, they can break it, and you'll get wheel hop, you get things like that that'll happen. So you need to get the drivetrain to match the speed of the tire that's spinning. So as you're doing that, you're braking for a little while, brake. You will take your left foot, press the clutch. You're gonna rev the car, which means while you're braking, I have to do the bug squish method. So I hit the brake, turn it, and I kick it with my heel. I have little feet. Those of you that have bigger feet or running shoes that flare out, you can put your foot on here, and you can, on the edge of your foot, roll it over and go whoom, bring the RPMs up. The reason you do the rev is because you need the RPMs up to match the speed of the tires when you let the clutch out. Otherwise, when you do that and let it out, the car falls to an idle, and then if you let it out, it will lock the tires up. You do a big rev, boom. So it's braking, clutch, rev, release the clutch. That rev and the downshift happen simultaneously. So when you let the clutch out, it matches the speed when you let the clutch out, and you continue to use the brakes. Number one is continue to stay on the brake pedal. So I use the ball of my foot on the brake pad. So when you got it on the brake, because the ball of your foot is what you use for balance. It's when you walk. It's everything you do is all on the ball of your feet. So that's where you have the most sensitivity, most feeling. So if you put that on there, like for myself, my foot's turned. It's an ugly foot. Should have used a different color. It's kicked out like so. So I actually kick it with my heel, but I'm always braking the entire time. I do not give up the brake pedal to get a pretty rev in there. The thing is, you get a big rev in there or a pretty one, but you gave the brakes up, no one's gonna care how cool your rev was when you go off into the gravel trap. Because they're gonna go, so that was a really pretty rev. So we're gonna need about 10 more feet of cable to pull you out. Just wait right here. So you do not want to give up the brakes. So that's something we're gonna do. I'll go into it more once we get out there. But the shift technique, no need to rush it. You're braking, let the car slow down for a while, and then go to it. Again, I'll cover this out there. That'll be the breakout that I'll be on. And we'll explain it a little more. Yes, sir.
Quick question on your drawing, where you've got us where we should be, have completed our braking turn-in point. We should also be fully downshifted at that point, correct?
Yes, you want to have that done by the time you get into the corner. You want the downshift, but it doesn't all happen like immediately.
Okay. And then where, as far as getting back on, now you're in the gear that you want to take through the apex. What's the gas process? When does it come on? How much does it come on?
Maintenance throttle, just enough to maintain the speed until you get to the apex. From apex out, you start to feed the throttle on. That's when you can do it. As soon as you start to straighten the wheel, is when you can start to go to the gas. But if you turn in early and you pass the apex, you don't have the wheel straight yet. So you can't, this will dictate this. So you don't let your foot get ahead of your hands. Because we see it all the time, and then they do it, and then the car goes and it does a big snap and it throws the tail out, we can tell you that, yeah, you got on the gas. So, clutch is in, clutch is out. We're not sliding it. It's braking, clutch, rev, release it. And it's all gonna happen at one time. I know it's a lot, but we'll give you lots of time to practice it, so just bear with us. Any questions at all about what we're gonna be doing? Yes?
The factory pedals are in these cars, right?
They are. So we don't have the ones that, like that gas pedal has the big ear on it for the rev. Yeah, we don't let you
It's
cheat.
not the easiest pedals to do.
It is when you go to the brakes hard. That is something that you're gonna notice. When you use the brakes on the street, you press the brake pedal down just a little bit. When we're doing it, it's gonna go all the way down, and the gas and the brake will be on the same plane. That's an excellent question. So normally on the street, you don't brake that hard. So this is why this is a very hard thing to practice on the street. You're gonna go all the way down. So you're gonna feel that. So yes, that's a great point, yes.
You say I have a hard time at the end of a long straightaway, when it's at a corner, when you need to move from, say, like 4th to 2nd for the quarter, and trying to get the timing down and should we be going 4, 3, 2, or oh,
Did-
it's just still going straight from 4 and shifting right over to 2?
That is also a great question because I personally, my thing is I have to touch them all. I go 4, 3, 2, and I break in that, that distance. Some guys are good and they understand it and they can time it to go from 4 to 2, but for me it's too much of a guessing game. I don't like to think, am I there, am I not? I know for a fact that as I'm hearing the motor come down and I went to 3 and then I go to 2, I know where I'm at in the sequence. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's what I try to do.
Yeah, because you can hear it coming down. You hear the car and you hear that, and you know that you're close. The other one is like, well, am I slowed enough to let this clutch out? Because it could be disastrous. And the thing goes into a wheel hop, and then at that point, you either get the clutch back in or you're chasing it. So the heel toe is there is no right or wrong way to position your feet. It is what is the most comfortable and works best for you. Secondly, is you want to touch them all? Yes. I say yes. Some people try to do it without it. People that can do it without touching them all, hitting each one, it's good for them. I never caught on to that. So this is one of those things too, where it's personal, your personal capabilities. So, but out here on this track, you'll be able to run that entire track, I think in 3rd gear. So you're not going to have to worry much about that. You may go to 4th, so you'll be good there. All right. So what we're going to do now, any other questions before we, yes?
No second gear turns?
No.
Okay.
No, even Black Rock, I don't think so. I think you can still run that in 3rd. Might make a liar out of me though. I might double check.
I might.
It might be 2nd gear. Might be now, but that'll be it. What we're gonna do though is we're going to take a picture real quick, but we will save the bathroom break till we get down there. This one here is really small and there's another class that's already beat you there. So if you can hold on just for a little bit, I know I've been making you drink water, which is a cruel trick, but as bad as I hate to say it like this, just hold it. And we'll take a picture real quick. Jeremy's gonna guess all of you, get your suits up. You're gonna gather around the car in the back. Guess, go back there with him too. This is your day and he's gonna get a picture of you and then we will head out of here.